Hi everyone, welcome to the Active Knowledge series, The Practice of Non-Greed in Business. We're in, I think, chapter 4. We're continuing to look at the competitive engine and unpacking that. We're looking at the core of that competitive engine, and today we're going to look at purpose and motive and begin to talk about why purpose and motive are so important to the strength, the competitive strength of your business. Coming up on the screen, you will see now our model of the competitive engine. You can see the core highlighted there, the elements in it: leadership, employees, purpose, motive, vision, and culture. Today we're going to zone in on purpose and motive, which you can see is almost like the drive chain, if that's the right expression. It drives the dynamic within the core. I think it's vital to the strength of the core. The relationship between employees and leadership, which is the next chapter we'll look at, is critical. But purpose and motive is what helps that engagement to occur. And then vision and culture step out from that and strengthen that further. But today we're going to look at purpose and motive and just see the linkage between these and the importance behind them. So let's start talking about purpose. Purpose, I think, is just misunderstood by many business leaders. We create a purpose almost as a marketing language for those who have got it. It often gets confused with vision, mission, and certainly profit comes into it. And if you were to be honest, you would say most businesses, especially in the public domain, public listed companies, exist for profit. We're here to meet the requirements of our shareholders. Our shareholders want more dividends, they want more profit, they want to grow in capital value. That's why we exist. The challenge with that is profit is vital, profit is critical for the continuation of business. But if you focus on it too much, you can quite easily slide from profit to profiteering. And profiteering undermines the competitive strength of your business and begins to drag you backwards. And I think that's the risk, and this is why the conversation around purpose becomes so important. If we have the right purpose, if we have a well-crafted and thought-out purpose, it becomes the most powerful tool which a business leader can bring to bear on their business. Why? It's a foundation stone, it's an anchor. It's also a summit, but it's not a fixed point. It's a very wide. So as you begin to delve into purpose and you begin to open up, endless opportunities begin to come. But opportunities which are within a domain. This is why we exist. This is who we are. This is the need we're meeting. And it begins to just allow you to compound, to see the opportunities before others and to build upon them. But it does that by mustering and drawing together the passion, the energy, the commitment of everyone who works within and with your business. It is a window to endless opportunities for growth and performance. It is, how do I say this, the glue which will draw everyone together, but the juice which will just have them throw themselves into the business. Profit and bonuses can't do any of this. The right purpose can. And that's what we want to try and hone in on today. So what are we going to talk about? Well, I think we'll touch on where does purpose come from? Why is it important? What's it founded in? How do I anchor my purpose? Where do I find it? Is there such a thing as a right purpose or a wrong purpose? What's this relationship between purpose and motive? And I wouldn't mind just drawing some lines around some characteristics of purpose, and then we'll finish up with a summation of why purpose is important and what can it do. So that's what we're going to walk through today. So let's start. Where does purpose come from? Well, interesting enough, purpose is there at the very beginning of a business. Why? Because you don't sort of say, well, I know how I can make great profit. Let me go do this and we'll make great profit. Great businesses don't typically form that way and don't come that way. What happens is someone turns around and goes, I have a great idea. I see there's an opportunity here. I see there's a need which is not being met. I think we can do this much better than what's being done now. I see changes in the marketplace. I see technology. I see an evolving customer need. I see something which we can do and we can do very well. I've created a new innovation. I've created some new technology. I have a great idea. But all these things come together and they're meeting one thing, a need. So where does purpose come from? Well, purpose is there when a new business is formed, when an idea is pitched, when money comes together, or where that person has been working on it in their garage for years and years and it begins to flourish. But what happens? While that business grows, that business becomes successful, that business becomes larger, the founder begins to get removed from the business as professional management comes into it, as capital comes into it, external capital. And they suddenly begin to lose that connection. And that founding purpose suddenly begins to get diminished. New leaders come in and they have new ideas. Revenue begins to become strong and we want to lock that in. And suddenly that founding purpose, that reason why we existed, begins to fall into the background and becomes a bit of our vague history. And it can be substituted by a few things. If you look at businesses, certainly marketing. Think of Xerox and the document company, that language. We are the document company. Suddenly defined who they are, what their purpose is, why they exist. If you think of Kodak, their revenue was from the sale of consumables. So suddenly it was the sustaining of that revenue stream which defined their purpose. And if you just look outside that, then you would say that profit is the default purpose. Why are we here? Well, we do this, but we're here to make a profit. Why do I say that? Because everything we talk about is what's happening with our sales, what's happening with our costs, how do we massage these, how do we grow one and diminish the other, revenue up, cost down, so we make more profit. So our dividends are higher, so our capital value is higher. So great care, I think, should be taken in understanding the origin story of a business, that founding purpose, preserving that, protecting that, and growing it. And I'm not saying that every founding business leader actually recognizes the importance of that purpose, but most of them do, and we need to protect that. So where does purpose come from? It comes from the origin story of a business. Why is that important? Well, we've spoken through a number of those reasons. It's the foundation, it's the cornerstone, it's the first piece of the business which has been laid. Now, businesses start with this: I see an opportunity, I see a need, I see something we can do better. There is your founding purpose. It establishes why we are creating this business, it establishes where we're going to grow, it establishes why we're here. But I think, and then we see there's a lot of language, and has been for a while now, about the importance of why, but I think there's a greater statement behind that. It's who we are. Why, before why, is who. Who we are, what are we doing? And it's that who definition becomes important. Why is purpose important? Well, if we don't have a purpose, then we become a bit directionless. We chase opportunities, we chase profit, we become bound to existing revenue. We don't see new opportunities in the market which we're in because we're chasing profit here and there. Purpose anchors us. This is what I do, and therefore this is what I don't do. Don't spend our time doing that. Let's continue to build what I do. In strategic management theory, there's a language around core competencies, a foundation which I just progressively build and build and build, which provides endless opportunities. A substitute for that is purpose. If I have a purpose, it becomes my core of what I do and where I go to. Without it, I will chase lots of things and spend a lot of time which I don't need to on things I shouldn't be looking at. So where do I find this purpose? Where's it come from? I hear the origin story. I hear it was there when a business was formed. But can you unpack that more? Go back to that origin story. Purpose is founded in need, in customer need, in the value I am able to deliver them to meet their need. Every business exists to meet a need. Some of the needs are far more important than others. I think some of the needs are contrived to allow businesses to chop out a percentage of the profit as it goes through. But in essence, purpose, real purpose, righteous purpose, we'll come to that a bit later, is founded in customer need. And that finding of that right purpose provides a foundation for endless growth. If I get that right, if I express that the right way, and we'll have an example a bit later of a make-believe company, the way I think is way to express it, which just shows that. Purpose is founded in need. It defines the need. It allows me to become the best of the best in meeting that need. It allows me to have an anchor for innovation and growth. I know the need, I know what's changing. It allows me to lead change and not chase it. I'm not looking around to see what else is doing. I'm actually leaving behind and heading off. It stops me from chasing things I should not be chasing. It allows me to become emergent and just to continue to grow and expand my market. You will find that if in actual fact you have defined purpose well, there will be endless opportunities. But the definition of purpose and the way you express it becomes quite vital. Let me just read to you an example. This is what I call the imaginary make-believe companies. There's two companies, A and B. Let's do A first. My business manufactures ballpoint pens. I discovered this idea in the 1940s in Argentina, and have acquired the rights to this innovative product. Well, the patents had all but expired, so I did not have much to acquire. I've overcome the original design flaws, leaking ink, and I now manufacture what is the world's best ballpoint pen. My business is cornering the market and making fantastic profits, and growth is just there. Move on. Well, honestly, that was a few years ago. Now I just don't understand what's happening. Customers are asking for different coloured ink in their pens. We originally produced only black ink. Why would anyone want different coloured ink? Also, there were all these different pen designs coming out into the market. Again, we just had one design. It was simple, it was easy. Our inventory is going through the ceiling in trying to keep up with all the varieties and all the designs. Our design is just not popular anymore for some reason. We are losing market share faster than I'm willing to even discuss. We manufacture really good pens at a fair price, but I just can't see where this market is heading. If this continues, I'm not sure if we can survive. Our business exists to manufacture the world's greatest ballpoint pen, but maybe not for much longer. Business A. Business B. We came across a few years ago this product called the ballpoint pen. It's a great invention, not protected by patents at all, but it's just so underimagined. It could be so convenient and of great benefit to so many people. Using it allows you to communicate far more effectively, to capture your ideas, to express your thoughts, and really just lifts your ability to easily communicate to another level. So to make a long story short, we formed a new business whose purpose was to allow people to communicate more effectively. Firstly, we created different coloured inks, as colour is so important in communicating and expressing thoughts. We then redesigned the pen to allow it to sit in the hand more comfortably. We created pens with 4 colours in them, and that was only the start. Once we got people on board who focused on effective communication, there was no holding us back. The days of the simple pen seem a long time ago. Today we are a global business that has created some of the world's greatest software, and now we dominate the social media space because this is how people are now communicating. What's next? Well, we'll continue to pursue our purpose of helping people communicate effectively, but I'm not going to tell you what's next. You'll have to wait and see until it hits the market. Business A saw its purpose as we manufacture ballpoint pens. Business B saw its purpose as allowing people to communicate more effectively. One definition tied that business down. Transactional, we manufacture ballpoint pens. The other one, open to space. We're here to help people communicate more effectively. And we looked for opportunities for that. We searched that out and we just grew with it. One was founded in need, business B, communicate effectively. One was founded in a transaction. We can manufacture ballpoint pens, we can make a good profit, let's do that. Purpose is founded in need, customer need. But how you define that need becomes quite vital in opening that doorway for endless opportunities and engaging people. Is there such a thing as a right purpose and a wrong purpose? Well, yes, there is. But can I express it another way? I think there are purposes which are righteous and those which aren't. What do I mean by a righteous purpose? Well, it's one which has a moral cause, a meaning, a benefit. It's something which everyone who's working with and within your business can relate to. They can take a pride in, they can feel good about, they can see the benefit it has in our community, in our society. That righteous purpose then becomes what you constantly speak into. We're here to help people communicate more effectively. What's the next level? What's happening in our world? Where's the technology? How can we take this to another level? How can we lift people up more? You talk about it, you muster commitment around it, and that energy takes the business forward. Purpose is founded in meeting someone else's need. I'll say that again. Purpose is founded in meeting someone else's need. How well you define that need tells you how wide that window for the future becomes. It's not necessarily timeless, but if it's crafted correctly, it is enduring, and you'll find that purpose, in one sense, will begin to evolve, but it will become larger and larger and larger as you see the opportunities and you grow into that. But the key language, I think, is righteous purpose. And you know what I'm going to say. Profit is not a righteous purpose. Profit is necessary for the continuing of the business. Profiteering is not. Just taking a step sideways and maybe back a bit. The importance of purpose, righteous purpose is the language I'll use, is not new. Let me give you two quite different and extreme examples. If you remember the origin story of my work, and I go back to classical Chinese military strategy, what that tells me is, how do I determine who is going to win this battle? How do I determine who is going to be successful? I look at two things, is what classical military strategy tells me. The worthiness of leadership and the moral cause they are fighting for. If I have worthy leaders and I have a strong, righteous moral cause, they will win. Because those two things will engage the community, the people, and help them drive forward. Run forward to about probably the 1960s, what we'll call modern business management thinking. Peter Drucker, a name which many of you will be aware of, often described as the father of modern management. If you read and listen to his words about business and compare it to where many of our boards and our CEOs are at the present time. I'll just read out some of his points from his work. The purpose of a business is the creation and satisfaction of the customer. The creation and satisfaction of the customer. Go back to that new business starting. Oh, I have a great idea. I can see there's a need there. I can see there's a customer with a need unfulfilled. That's where my business is going to be. Purpose is related to the corporation, the business's contribution to society, to the community, to the fulfillment of need, not their profit. Profit optimization should be the measure, not profit maximization. Optimization is finding this balance between risk on one hand and opportunities on the other. Opportunities for what? To meet more needs. To seek profit maximization, it's to fail to identify and implement new opportunities, to develop the people who work for you, and to recognize external threats. This sense of profit, it is necessary for the continuation of the business, but it is redundant with regard to purpose. Nothing to do with purpose whatsoever. Again, these are the words of Peter Drucker. This sense of profit and creating a culture within an organization of pursuing profit, more profit, more profit. It's got absolutely nothing to do with that corporate culture, with the reason a business exists. It's like saying, as a human, I exist to breathe. No. Breathing is what I need to do to continue to exist, but it's not the reason why I exist. Profit is what I need to continue to exist, but it's not the reason why my business exists. Maximization of profit as a goal, ill-conceived. It talks about or leads to this avarice pursuit of profit as the inherent human trait. That's wrong. Profit is not the reward of a risk taker. Profit is the future investment in the creation of tomorrow's jobs to meet tomorrow's needs. So you just listen to that language and you say, back in the classical Chinese strategy days where they were building nations and winning battles, worthy leadership and moral cause come forward to Drucker, the formation of businesses. Why are businesses here? Why are corporations here? They're here to make a contribution to our society by meeting the needs of a customer. They need to make a profit, but that is not the reason why they exist. And that is this division which I call between profit and profiteering. This is why non-greed as a practice becomes so important. But also because the practice of non-greed, existing to meet a need of a customer, having that righteous purpose, just makes an amazing difference to your business. Get your purpose right, focus on purpose, profit will be there, more profit than you would otherwise make. So let's just talk about this relationship between purpose, profit and motive, this dynamic which sits in here. Purpose and motive go hand in hand. They strengthen each other. They fit together. One without the other, one which disconnects, will weaken that. Righteous purpose, the right purpose will seed the right motive. If I don't get that right, the competitiveness of the organization will only be weakened. So when you think about this relationship between purpose and motive and how they fit together, I'll express it this way: motive is everything. You need to establish and defend the right motive. If you don't, the potential in your business just will never be reached. This fallacy, and I'll use the word fallacy, which exists in our community, our business community at the present time. This business exists for profit. It is our prime goal. We're there to maximize profit. It's just wrong. It's what I call this profit first mantra. It's wrong because it's the least effective motive you can instill in your business. Profit's an outcome. It's not a catalyst. It doesn't create itself. It's what we get from, for example, having the right purpose and a competitive engine firing well. This profit first motive, what's it create? Selfishness, self-interest, politics, short-termism. If you think of the competitive strength of anything, that will only drain and diminish that competitive strength. Why I say it's a fallacy? Because a profit first motive will deliver less profit than what can otherwise be achieved if you get your purpose right and you get your competitive engine firing. However, profit as a motive principally goes unchallenged in a business. And that's a shame, because it means the business is not performing where they can be and where they should be. Businesses which are pursuing profit, typically the leadership group will find themselves solving problems, fighting fires, listening to everyone's complaints day after day, trying to drag people in to contribute to the business, using bonuses and profit sharing to try and capture people's inspiration. Does not work. Fighting fires, solving problems, listening to everyone's complaints, selfishness, self-interest, politics, short-termism, they are the things which profit first, a profit motive, bring to the table. Businesses exist to meet the needs of a community, but they exist to compete against who? Firstly, against themselves, to do better every day, but then against everyone else in the marketplace. But my focus is me. Losing is in my hands. Say that again. Being defeated, losing, is in my hands. A competitor can only win against me if I allow them to. I compete against myself, I lean forward, and I continually get better and better every day. The motive you should be looking at is to compete. To compete for what? The purpose for which I exist. This is the need I'm seeking to meet. My motive is to meet that need better and better and better each and every day. You can see the energy which now comes from that. We need to set, protect and control the motives to achieve the full potential in our lives and in the businesses we operate. In business, our motive must be to compete against ourselves so we can outcompete all others, to deliver a greater customer value than anyone else possibly can. Purpose allows us to do this because we have defined the need we're seeking to meet, and we've defined in a way, think of the pen example, which allows us to open the opportunities and the windows. A righteous purpose, a purpose I feel good about. So when you think about motive, it starts with motive, it ends with motive, and you set the motive. Motive is everything. If you understand someone's motive, you'll be able to assess their capacity, their capability, their likelihood to succeed. Why? I know the energy which is within you, which is driving you to meet. If you think of athletes who are just setting world records time and time again, the energy, the motive which they've got within them is allowing them to do that. Come back, classical Chinese military strategy, worthy leadership, moral cause, I know who's going to win this battle. Motive sets the ceiling to your success, but also sets the floor. Poor motive, down you go. Just keep in mind that the core strength of any business is the combined talent and effort of all those who work within the business. Employees, contractors, suppliers, everyone. It's a wide circle. The combined talent and effort. What determines the strength, the ability of you to muster that talent, that effort? Motive, tied with purpose. The right motive magnifies and compounds that strength, draws it together and focuses it. The wrong motive disperses and neutralizes it. Pursuing profit is the wrong motive, self-interest and all the others which go with it. Motive is everything. What's yours in your business? What ceiling have you set? Purpose, motive, together, fundamental in driving the energy in your business. Let me just step forward a bit from that and just begin to draw some lines around sort of purpose to help you just begin to get your sense of how well your purpose is expressed or what your purpose could be crafted to be. Purpose equals power. Unity in purpose equals power. If I set the right purpose and I build a unity behind it, now I've created power, a competitive power which I can direct. Purpose is most effective when it draws upon moral ideas that have stood the test of time. Things which are good, goodness, things which are right within our society and our community. Purpose connects everyone, people, colleagues, leaders, communities, to the plans, to our reason why, to the who we are. Purpose is the cement of trust between individuals. The cement of trust between individuals? It builds relationships, understanding. Why? This is why we exist. This is what we bind ourselves around, that purpose. Purpose is the primary source of motivation, performance, and achievement. Purpose is a reference guide for all decision making. We're thinking of doing this. How does that strengthen and align with our purpose? Purpose is not a tool. It's not a mission, it's not a vision, it's not values, it's not brand, it's not reputation. It's none of those things. It's not code, it's not policy, it's not governance. It's not strategic thinking even. Purpose is the why. We like that language these days. But for me, more important is who we are. Who we are determines what we do. Who we are determines what we do. So when you think about purpose, you can express it as a why, but I think it very quickly defines who we need to be to deliver on that why, and that becomes more important. Purpose is a bit paradoxical. Why? Well, purpose will drive profits, more profits than you otherwise earn, but only if it's pursued for its own purpose. If you pursue purpose to make more profits, you'll trip over your own feet. Purpose is there. It's our why, it's our who we are, and we do it because that is who we are. Profits will therefore come. Purpose is why our business exists. It's the needs we seek to meet in the community. It is a contribution we make to the community. It is who we are. So let's just try and wrap that up a bit. Just begin to anchor in the summation some of these points. Coming up on the screen is these 3 tiers of leadership which we've talked about before: achiever, enabler, catalyst. Remember, we are working at the catalyst level, but when you go into this as an achiever, I need a purpose. I need to know, to some extent why I'm here, but who I am as an individual. As I step out and begin to try to be an enabler to help others, I have to help them understand why they're here and what their purpose is. And as I step out as an organization, I'm seeking to engage what could be tens of thousands of people and more, even 5 people, I need to say, what is the energy which binds us together and takes us forward? That is purpose. Key points. Purpose is the cornerstone and the reference for the existence of your business. Why? But who you are. Real competitive strength lies in that purpose, and everything else builds upon it. Purpose reveals opportunities, ensures alignment and a compounding of effort. Purpose is found in meeting customer needs. Purpose performs the cornerstone of your business's future. The way I define purpose gives me that focus and that breadth. It provides an enduring window for future growth and opportunities. Profit is not purpose. Profit is an outcome achieved from a righteous purpose. In setting purpose, you are also seeding motive. In business, motive is everything. It sets the ceiling to your performance and actually also the floor. Do you have a purpose for the existence of your business, for who you are, which allows everyone to come together in a unified way to see the future, to define the future, to create the future for your customers in fulfilling their needs, and for everyone to have a sense of trust and a bind of trust between them, because we're all here for the same reason. We're not here for ourselves, we're here for our customers. There is a great strength and power behind having a properly defined, articulate, and lived purpose. Do you have that? Thank you for your time today. We're in the competitive engine, we're in the core. We've been talking about purpose and motive and how that begins to form I use the word drivetrain, maybe that's not the right language, the strength and the energy in that core, how vital it is. Next, we're going to step into the relationship between leadership and the employees, which is just the expression for the people who work with us in our business. I thank you for your time. I hope you have found today's presentation useful and challenging and popping some questions into your mind and maybe some work for you to do on your to-do list. Take care. I look forward to seeing you in the next chapter. Be well.
Hi everyone, it's Sally here. I work with Richard. You will see coming up on the next 3 slides. Firstly, a URL link if you are interested in purchasing Richard's guide to the competitive engine, titled Compete, which is a 274-page full-color guide in either printed or a digital PDF format, or both if you wish. Secondly, a URL link to Richard's library of some 500 articles on the various elements of the competitive engine and more that you can access freely. And thirdly, there is an email address for any questions you may have. These are great resources, and I commend them to you. Thanks everyone for joining us today, and I hope to see you again soon.